Hey everyone, this is Peter from Boy Scouts, and thank you so much for tuning in to our module today. Today we're going to be talking about Friends of Scouting a little bit more in detail. The purpose of this module is to go a little bit, give you a full overview of Friends of Scouting. Maybe you're new to Boy Scouts, maybe you are a Scoutmaster who is learning about Friends of Scouting. So we want to give you, or I want to give you for my district, kind of a overview of all of this from the unit level, the district level, and the council level, until you get acquainted and learn a little bit more about our council as a whole. Just to get started, again, this is for mainly for our Scoutmasters to empower them to convey this message and the importance of Friends of Scouting to their units. So let's get started. So to begin, I'm just going to enlarge this for you. And let's begin. So what is Friends of Scouting? So Friends of Scouting is the major fundraising campaign held annually for the local council. Who's included in this campaign? Well, we have the family campaign, which includes local Cub Scout packs, Boy Scout troops, varsity teams, and venturing crews. So that is what we will be focusing mainly on in this module. We have the community campaign, which includes individual donors, and we have the leadership campaign, which includes district committee members, commissioners, and council members like myself. So we also do contribute to this campaign. We're going to be referring a lot to the term unit, and I just wanted to define that for you because it is a catch-all phrase that we will be using, but that unit refers to Cub Scout packs, Boy Scout troops, varsity teams, venturing crews, and explorer posts. So all of that is included when I reference that term throughout the module. Just to give you a little bit more in detail, if maybe you're not familiar with the different units that we do have, Cub Scouts are for boys ages 7 and up, Boy Scouts are for boys ages 10 and up, varsity teams are for those 14 and up, and venturing crews are for those boys and girls ages 13 and up. So you might not be familiar with venturing crews or varsity teams. Varsity teams are in a lot of our LDS or Church of Latter-day Saints saint churches, and then they're also in our Catholic churches as well. So these are two other areas that we do have heavy involvement in. Just to talk about scouting in a breath, scouting really is a state of mind. It is something that really, it is a philosophy, it is an ideal that we try to cultivate and immerse our boys and our scout leaders in, and it is just a tremendous organization. I know all of you are familiar with scouting for those parents and volunteers in the field, but I just wanted to point out a couple areas because sometimes when you're in that mindset or you're helping out with the boys, sometimes you lose sight of the bigger picture of what you're developing and cultivating, and so I just wanted to bring some areas to focus here. So these are some features that I created myself when I was in scouting. You won't find these anywhere else, but I think it's important to focus on the fact that scouting really does help with goal setting, to be honest, in personal interactions, social responsibility, an emphasis on personal growth, leadership development, builds resilience, teaches us to adapt to changing situations and environments. You'll see that a lot in the camporee activities or with camping or any of the outdoors programs. It encourages us to tap in to our inner ingenuity, builds physical stamina, cultivates moral and personal courage, and it focuses on self-discipline. So these are common denominators that you will find with anyone who is successful, not only in society or business and the community, but also in their life. And we're trying to imbue these boys and instill these ideals within them. And it helps grow not only the boys themselves, but it helps grow the parents as well and makes them into very strong mentors. What is the role of the council in this? So for the units to exist, so too must the council. So the council represents the governing body for local scouting. It also serves as the essential infrastructure for local units to exist and function. So, just to give you an example, like a franchise, the council must maintain a certain financial threshold in order to remain considered sustainable by the BSA National Council. So, it also must be staffed in order to meet certain compliance standards and best practices like any nonprofit organization. So, Los Padres Council, a brief history. We were first the Santa Barbara Council in 1917, changed to the Mission Council in 1929, and then we changed to Los Padres Council, the name we currently have, in 1994 when it merged with the Santa Lucia Council and also acquired the San Luis Obispo Council. Camp Rancho Alegre, which is our main summer camp, is located across from Lake Cachuma and was founded in 1952 and includes 213 acres. Troop 1 is the oldest scout unit west of the Mississippi, and also just a point of reference, Major Frederick Russell Burnham, if you're a history buff, was one of the founders of scouting with Robert Baden-Powell, and he was actually a resident of Santa Barbara, so it's just neat to have him in our midst. Overview of the council, we have 5 major districts, Live Oak District, South Coast District, Cachuma District, Del Norte District, and Camino Real. Our district is South Coast. And we have 114 units in the entirety within those districts. As you can see, they're pretty similar across the board. South Coast has 37 units total. A geographic overview, Live Oak stretches to Santa Maria and Lompoc. South Coast is in Santa Barbara County, Cachuma and San Ynez, Del Norte and San Luis Obispo and Paso Robles, and Camino Real in the 5 cities area, San Luis Obispo, Morro Bay, and Los Ojos. As you can see from a satellite image, we cover quite a wide-ranging area, starting here at the beginning of South Coast and Carpinteria, and then moving up to Del Norte, which covers Paso Robles. Some statistics about our council from last year: 3,660 members were served by our council. Out of those 1,661 adult leaders served in our council, and then 19,600 hours of community service were performed by scouts. Over 21,000 pounds of food were collected, and 92 scouts in our council earned the Eagle Scout rank last year. So scouting is a huge movement, especially within Santa Barbara County, and we want to keep that going, and we want to have it progress and have it for many generations to come. But with that, there also comes a financial cost. And I just wanted to go over that with you just a little bit so you're aware, and maybe we're counting on the units to help us with this and help move us in the right direction so we can keep scouting going. So based on the budget right now, we have a budget of $2.1 million, which might seem like a lot, but in terms of operating budget and everything that goes into it, it's actually not that much. So the cost to provide quality programs for scouts, if we spread that over all the scouts in the Los Padres Council, that's about $150 per scout per year. No portion of the $24 registration fee or a Boys Life subscription fee is kept locally. Those fees are submitted to the National Office of Boy Scouts of America to provide program development at a nationwide level. Just to give you an idea of price ranking, we actually rank very affordable compared to some of the other youth organizations in Santa Barbara. And also, just wanted to go over kind of from a budgetary standpoint, Friends of Scouting makes up a pretty big portion, 14% of the overall budget, and then 93% of that is invested back in scouting and program support. Again, Friends of Scouting makes up a pretty significant chunk of that. South Coast District satellite overview, so we stretch from Carpinteria all the way up to Goleta. We cover some major cities: Carpinteria, Montecito, Santa Barbara, Goleta, and Lompoc. And within those cities, we have total 37 units, and as you can see, the bulk of them are in Santa Barbara and Goleta, but we do have some very strong units in Montecito, Carpinteria, and we'll be absorbing some units in in Lompoc as well. So this is just a fuller image there. So when does Friends of Scouting occur? Well, Friends of Scouting occurs January, February, March, April, May, and June. So basically it's from January to June, but we're really focusing on in these months to get it accomplished before summer. Friends of Scouting from last year, if you're looking at who contributed, about 24% came from families, so that would be you guys. 37% came from private donations, so from some of our donors. 33% came from LDS, and 5% came from our leadership. And then where does the money go from Friends of Scouting? Well, it goes to two areas: tangible benefits, those things that you can actually see happening, and then intangible, those items happening behind the scenes. So marketing materials and recruitment for your fall and spring recruitment, council office and the trading post. We actually don't really make a profit on that. Or a significant profit on that. That's kept over for your convenience. Communication resources and staff to address unit concerns. If you have any questions on policy or merit badges or whatever the case, we're here for you. And then YPT training, Blue training, merit badge training. All of that is there. All of the trainings we have are here for your safety, to give you all the necessary knowledge that you need to perform your jobs as volunteers, as scoutmasters, and serving your units, and also to protect the boys in your units, as well as the members in those units as well. Other services provided, regulatory compliance. This is happening behind the scenes that you might not see, but we have to have compliance with all council operations to ensure they meet the national BSA best practices, guidelines, and standards. We provide comprehensive insurance liability for each pack, troop, team, crew, and post, and we pay to keep the council rechartered with national BSA. So we also have to pay a recharter to stay with them as well. Tracking and managing collection of all advancement and recharter materials, youth protection, financial and registration paperwork, and then we provide recognition materials including Eagle Scout Awards at no cost to parents and youth. We also, that money is also allocated to help provide for Rancho Alegre. Funding is needed to help keep it covered. It's 231 acres, but it also has quite a bit of deferred maintenance, depreciation on facilities. There's from the water shortage, we've had to drill some new wells or working on that, and sustainability and other work as well. So we also do some other things, some exciting things coming down the road, which the council's working on, and especially what I'm working on with our district committee in the South Coast District. We are building a merit badge program with the Santa Barbara Zoo, so our boys can have the chance to have merit badge training there, as well as for our younger boys in the packs to have an overnight program there as well. We're also working with some organizations to create a sailing merit badge program as well for the boys there, and a Sea Scout program. And then also we help with the chartered organizations to ensure they provide meeting facilities for units and follow up with the BSA mission. So that would be like, for example, that would be the Knights of Columbus or the Elks Lodge or any of the organizations where you meet at that facility. We provide management support as well. So we help support and help plan and help offer documentations and agendas and meeting materials, and participate in helping carrying out many of the plans recognized by the South Coast District Committee, the South Coast Commissioners Committee, South Coast Alumni Committee, South Coast Pinewood Derby, South Coast Day Camp, the Nominating Committee, Scout Safari, Scouting for Food, District Roundtable, District Recognition Dinner, and South Coast Camporee. So a lot goes into these committees. There's a lot of planning for these events. They just don't happen overnight, and so a lot has to be taken care of in terms of planning and strategic involvement. And so the council, in a big way, helps support these committees in completing the programs and the objectives that they want to accomplish for that year. So set a goal. So we recommend that your unit sets a goal. How do you meet that goal, or how do you plan for that? Usually, you take the number of youth that you have in your unit and multiply that by 150, and then that will equal your unit goal. So the number it costs per scout and multiplied by the number of youth equals your unit goal. We want to have a realistic goal for you, so you can contribute to Friends of Scouting, and that we can make it fair across the board for all the units, all the scout units, packs, troops, crews, and teams participating in our council. So collectively, we're stronger. So I would recommend selecting one worker from your unit and assign them the task of being in charge of Friends of Scouting, whether that is your scoutmaster, your chartered organization rep, a committee member, a parent. We want someone in your unit to be in charge of it and be tracking meeting that goal. And also, you want to make sure they have additional support as well, helping them along the way. Unit planning, how do you carry this out? How do you execute it? I always recommend just planning an ideal time to present. Set that unit goal to raise with your parent committee or with one of your unit committees, and then schedule to present a time with the highest attendance, and then make the presentation. If you have to make additional presentations, feel free to do so. But we really want to connect with all our parents and convey the importance in that message to them. From another presentation model, from when you're presenting, keep it short, 4 to 5 minutes. Again, we want to empower the leaders in that unit to make that discussion available with their parents. We want others to assist in handing out brochures during the presentation, and afterwards you want to make sure you have those brochures collected and given to the district executive attending that meeting. So be creative. Some of our strongest units, one in particular, is doing a private auction where the proceeds benefit Friends of Scouting. But you can also have a basketball shootout, a free throw competition where proceeds benefit. So just be creative with it. Think of some different ideas. When to present, remember, highest attendance, so blue and gold dinners, a court of honors. You just really want to find a time where it's appropriate to bring this up, and you want people to recognize that this is an important aspect of scouting, because it is setting us up so we can continue it for not just this year, but for later generations, so we continue a strong alumni base, so we're able to continue a legacy. What should be mentioned in the Friends of Scouting presentation? It's critical to be honest and sincere. I think that's the most important part. Be completely transparent. That is the message, and that is the meaning of this presentation. We want to make sure we're clear to people at what we're trying to accomplish. And remember, these are not merely donations. They are an investment in the future and sustainability of Los Padres Council. This money goes to sustain the council so it can continue to provide scouting to come for generations after generation, and continue the life of our council so it exists, so it has sustainability, so we can progress. And it's critical that we maintain and seek out support. If they do want to donate it online, they can feel free to do that. All they have the process in order to get to our online page is just if you go to Google and you type in Los Padres Council South Coast District, it will send you to this page. And then if you look on the right-hand toolbar here, you can just go to the Donate Now section. If you just click on Donate Now, Friends of Scouting, that will route you to the page where you can submit your donation. And that's it. That's all there is to it. I hope that was informational. I tried to keep it short as much as I could, but I just wanted to give you kind of a brief overview of Friends of Scouting and why it's important to convey that to your units. If you have any questions, feel free to let us know. And that's it. Thank you so much for your time.